Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. Honestly, I can't even express how my relationship with my stepsis is because it's literally just been 5 years since I really met her. I mean, of course, that's a long time to know someone, but for me, the fact that we met when we were 19 and going off to college meant that we weren't able to develop a bond until the last 2 years of our relationship, which was good for me because I never really liked her and her mom to begin with, especially her mom because she was the reason why my family broke apart 10 years ago. My dad and her met when he used to drop me off at school, and my stepmom worked as a teacher at my school. All of this while my mom was home fighting cancer. He met her. They became friends, and my stepmom initially became a help to me and my mom. My poor mom was so grateful to her. I can still recall how she'd tear up and thank her for doing the things around the house she wasn't able to do. And my stepmom, putting up the fakest smile she possibly could, would tell her not to worry, knowing full well that she was screwing my dad behind her back while making my mom completely believe that they both had a sister-like bond. As soon as my mom got the clear and safe sign that she was free from her illness, stepmom just couldn't keep it to herself and took off her mask, revealing the filthiest of details about their affair. I still remember how my mom would cry in agony, but never in front of me. My dad would just become quiet. I never knew if his quietness indicated guilt or something else, but he would just never talk about that. My stepmom saw this as a sign to take dominance, and boy, did she take full advantage of it. She made my dad buy a new house and just took him away with her. My dad never reached out to me after that. He simply just divorced my mom and left us both drowning in misery and pain. Then what? My mom's cancer returned 5 years back, and unfortunately, this time very aggressively. My mom didn't want to get help and passed away shortly after. That was the first time after so many years that my dad reached out to me and helped me move into his place. By this point, my stepsister had moved in with them after living with her dad a couple of cities away. I knew my life would be a living hell after, but I had no choice. I was still in college and I had nowhere to live. So I moved in with him, and from the get-go, I knew I was in for a hell of a ride. Initially, I was just left alone. My mom's death was an unspeakable topic. My stepmom and stepsister would refuse to acknowledge me, and boy, I so wished that I could turn back time. It remained this way for a while. We all were distant from each other, even all throughout the pandemic. Then, out of nowhere, things started changing. My stepsister started to warm up to me. After so long without a family, I was really happy, and we indeed bonded really well. Even after in-person college started and we went our separate ways, my stepsister and I stayed in contact. We'd watch movies together, and the breaks just felt so much warmer after our relationship had strengthened. Because of my stepsister, even my stepmom had started to warm up to me slightly. I was happy, not like I was forgetting my mom, but I felt some sort of familial connection with these people for the first time in years. But well, it was good while it lasted because it all fell apart not long after. It all began when I got engaged to my boyfriend, Jackson. Jackson and I had been together since high school. And once we graduated, I thought that it was a good time to get engaged. Now, one piece of information that might help this post make more sense is that my stepsister and stepmom didn't get close to me until when I had brought him over for the first time during a Christmas dinner. All of you guessing where this is going are probably right. My stepsister and I immediately got close after and during that time. I didn't even think about thinking from that angle because she literally has a longtime boyfriend of her own. Well, here we are now. As soon as I got engaged to Jackson, my stepsister changed in a way that was just weird to me. She became very distant to me, and even though I tried to ask her or my stepmom about it, they refused to let me know. I just sat on it for a while because I was busy with work and other stuff. Well, cut to Christmas, and I went to spend the holidays with my parents as usual. Jackson didn't get there yet because he had something to get done. So I get there, and everyone is still distant from me. I try to talk, get no response. So I slept it off and woke up terrified to find out that half of my hair had been chopped off. I immediately began crying hysterically and ran to the living room. I was greeted by my stepsister and stepmom, both looking at me with blank looks on their faces. I instantly realized who was behind all of it, and it was confirmed by my stepsister as she got up and began laughing at my face soon after. She didn't say anything for a straight minute, just went on laughing, and as I screamed at her through my tears, she revealed to me that she had done all of this because I ruined her chances of dating Jackson by getting engaged with him. I'm not even going to go into details of what she said after because I feel physically sick trying to recall it, but it was not pretty. I packed my things and left home. Now I'm at home looking at my phone filled with threats from her, and I honestly don't know what to do. So I'm here to rant and also get things off my mind. Everything still feels like a fresh wound, so I would really appreciate some patience. Thank you, guys. It's been exactly 2 days since everything happened, and it all still feels surreal. From whatever happened to all the attention this post received, I'm just having a hard time believing that all of it is true. After spending 2 days either sleeping my feelings off or crying in Jackson's arms, I decided to get up and first block all and every contact with my stepsister, stepmom, and dad. I just realized how badly I needed to cut the negativity for me to be able to function in a way that was good for me instead of functioning in a way where I just fed into their manipulative tactics. And honestly, it worked. From the moment I blocked them, I just could sense and find myself doing much more than the previous few days. I booked an appointment with a hair salon, which was previously completely booked due to Christmas. I was even able to go downstairs to spend Christmas with Jackson's amazing family. The support that they gave me was truly much needed and filled me with warmth. Currently, I'm just waiting for the holiday season to be over so that I can look into sorting these matters off. I will keep you guys updated. Hello, everyone. As you all know, we're past the holiday season, and I have already started working on this situation. I first went to the salon, and well, as I expected, the stylist suggested to me a haircut that wasn't really what I wanted, but from the point of view of how terribly my stepsister had cut off my hair, it was the best option. So I got that done, and it was truly an emotional experience. I had very long, luscious hair previously, which I adored and had pride in taking care of. And although it may sound like I'm overreacting, it felt like I lost a part of me once again. But thankfully, with the support of my amazing partner and best friend, I think I was able to get through it like a champ. I ended up driving down to the police station with pictures of my hair and also the threatening texts my stepsister had been sending me. They have a report and request for a restraining order. Currently, I'm waiting for a response to the same. After all that, I messaged my stepsister's boyfriend. I'm not going to lie, I'm not at all close to that guy. He replied to me in a very uninterested tone, too, so it was really fun seeing him be as uninterested as possible to being the most interested guy he possibly could be. I mean, I'd be the same, but he seemed especially messed up because my stepsister probably created this view of him. that he wasn't, and well, of course, it didn't end well for her. Her boyfriend sent me a gift card to a salon as an apology and a thank you, making me realize how much of a victim he is in this situation. I guess he's decided to take a break after that because I haven't heard much from him. Honestly, it feels kind of good to help a poor soul out of a situation like this. I mean, I may come off as pathetic and even petty, and if that is it, so be it, because only I know deep inside how I am. It's unbelievable how kind and sweet you all are. Even though I haven't updated my posts since I left, you guys didn't stop leaving me the sweetest, kindest, and most helpful to look forward to at a time when I needed the most. So I've posted this update to let you all know that I'm okay, and I truly wish you guys are okay as well. If not, I at least hope this post serves you guys as a reminder that everything will end up okay. I mean, you guys always won't get the pro revenge, but you guys might get the peace of mind that you need much more than any revenge. Well, I'm going to stop sounding sentimental now and give you guys the update you all need. Firstly, I ended up getting a restraining order against my stepsister because if harassing me wasn't enough, she went behind her ex's back, broke into his house, and stole some of his things. This granted both of us instant restraining orders. I believe that her ex-boyfriend is even going as far as to press charges, which is good. I hope being in jail at least teaches her a lesson. As for my hair, well, nothing really can happen with it as long as it's short. So for the wedding, I've met a lot of amazing stylists and also hired a few of them, and hopefully they'll be able to do something. I'm not looking for anything crazy. I just want to look presentable with what I have, and I guess they'll be able to help me with that. And with that, I'm going to end my post here. Life is back to normal. The trash has taken itself out of my life, and my relationship has gotten even stronger than it was. What more could I need? Thank you guys for reading. NTA, your stepsis is batshit crazy, and throughout this post, all I was looking for was the part where you got the restraining order and dropped her from your life, which I'm so glad you did. NTA, in a way, I'm glad the stepsister showed her true colors because I can only imagine the mess she could have created once you got married. Please enroll yourself into therapy if you can. I, 33 female, have a daughter, 5 female. My sister-in-law, long-term partner of my stepbrother Jake, Tina, 34 female, has a daughter, Cassie, also 5 from a previous relationship. Every summer for the past few years, me, my step-siblings, and our partners have visited our parents at the holiday retreat they run from anywhere between 4 to 7 weeks. This past summer, I was there for 6 weeks, and Jake and Tina were there for 4. My husband was there for 3 weeks on and off due to work commitments, and I brought the nanny. During the 3rd week, Jake and Tina were there. My husband and I decided to take my daughter on a day trip, as the nanny had the day off and we were going a little stir-crazy. We told everyone at breakfast, and afterwards, when it was just the women at the table finishing our tea, Tina asked if we could take Cassie with us on our day out. I was very confused as to why Tina would ask this, as I have barely any interaction with Cassie. I find some of her behavior very off-putting, and I don't have a natural inclination towards children. And second, Tina and I don't know each other well enough that I'd even consider asking her such a favor. I said no, it was just a family day out for the 3 of us and presumed that would be the end of it. But Tina insisted. She begged me to take Cassie and said she hasn't had a break the whole summer. She's overwhelmed and would like to spend some time with Jake. I said no again, and Tina asked if my nanny could watch Cassie for a few hours, but I told her it's the nanny's day off. Tina started to get tearful, saying she really thought that as a fellow mother I would understand needing a break since I have someone employed for that very purpose. I didn't know what to say to that, so I just said goodbye to my mother and started to leave. And as I did, Tina burst into tears. My mother told me to go and that she would calm Tina down. When we came back later that evening, Tina wasn't at dinner, and my parents and Jake were babysitting Cassie. My mother said she had reached a compromise with Tina that they would watch Cassie for the evening so Tina could rest. They can't during the day as they are still actively running the retreat. The next day, Tina reappeared and everything was back to normal, though she was noticeably colder towards me. It didn't bother me. A few days ago, we were discussing all getting together for Christmas in a group chat, and Tina said she was really looking forward to it, but that she hopes we could all be a bit more accommodating with the kids and that it takes a village. I just replied that I wouldn't be needing any accommodations, thanks, and the conversation moved on. My mother says, while she understands why I said no, seeing the state Tina was in and the meltdown she had after I left, she would have said yes. She said, I don't understand how tough it is because I have so much help. So, HITA? NTA, as others have said, asking is fine. Guilting or acting entitled was not. And commenting on an element of this, others haven't yet, it isn't your nanny's job to watch other people's kids, and you are not in a position to accept that responsibility for her. When friends would ask if my nanny could pick up their kids or watch them after school or other things, I would say, you'd have to ask her. Her hourly rate is X. I will let her know. I'm okay with her also watching your kids that day if she feels comfortable with additional responsibility. NTA. So Tina threw a tantrum like a 5-year-old when she didn't get her way. If she needs a break that badly, she can hire a babysitter or arrange childcare for her child with someone else, not throw a tearful fit when someone says no. No is a complete answer, and you shouldn't feel guilted into helping her when you don't want to. So here goes. A few years ago, my cousin's business closed and he ran into some issues with the law, leaving him with a debt and a fine. A number of my family members pulled some money to lend him, and I lent the bulk, the equivalent of 25,000 US dollars of that amount. His parents are unemployed, so they were unable to help much. He started a new business in secondhand car dealings and stuff, and I never thought much about it as I assumed he would pay back when he was in a more stable situation. One day, my younger brother informs me that my cousin took his family to Paris, a 12 hours flight away, for a vacation. I saw it was posted on my cousin's Facebook page, but I was unable to view it even though we are connected there, which means he probably hid it from me. I met up with my cousin after he was back and asked if there were any updates on the amount owed. He was surprised and asked about me suddenly bringing it up. I said I was aware that he took his family to Paris and asked why he did not at least pay a certain portion back. My cousin got defensive and accused me of trying to control his life, like he's bankrupt. I said that since he's in a much better financial situation, I would expect some repayments to start. I got my parents to inquire about their other siblings, my other uncles, who had lent money to check on their status, and it turns out that my cousin had already repaid them, about 7,000 US dollars in total. I got pissed and called my cousin to demand an explanation. He said that since I was the richest of them, I didn't need the money and he would repay me last, along with some choice words about me hounding him, including, dude, just admitted that you're broke and need the money. I said that if I didn't hear any plans for repayment within the next few days, I would explore other avenues. He dared me to sue him before hanging up. After a week of silence, I approached a debt collecting agency I had used frequently for my own business. Lawsuits and whatnot were out of the question because lawyer fees would eat up half of that amount. And even if the court awards me that amount, the onus still falls to me in terms of collecting it. A week after that, my cousin calls me and curses me for embarrassing him at his workplace. Turns out the debt collector had headed down to his place of business and created a commotion and warned him that if he does not want to discuss an installment plan, they would visit his house and his wife's workplace. I insisted that he speak to my debt collector about any issues regarding payment from now on. My relatives, including my parents, said that I was wrong to drag an outsider in and I was too harsh, as well as especially given I was aware of how the agency operates from past experience. Debt collectors are legal here, but many of their methods skirt the law in terms of illegality. I'm aware, but I honestly don't see any other avenues for someone who is deliberately being difficult. NTA, you are owed a large sum of money, and I'm guessing in your country a debt collector is a very common way to deal with things. Your cousin was probably never going to repay you. This way, you get the money and he gets to keep his kneecaps. NTA, he took you and your money for granted. Started doing well and intentionally took a vacation behind your back and gave you a bad attitude when you asked for your own money. So no amount of niceness was going to make him pay you anyway. I hope he pays you now that he knows he can't get away with the money or his behavior.